Okay, so I am in Rooms of Wonder, and I was coloring on this page, and I thought, oh man, this would have been a good video because the light source and how things are lighter on this side because of that light. So I found another page, let's see, with a light and pulled colors for it. Now, a lot of times, some of these pages look so overwhelming because there's so much on there, but we are going to break it down. We're going to do one area, and I have a lot of pencils out. So, I will try to tell you the colors as I'm using them. Normally, I would do my light source first, but I didn't want to take the time doing all that coloring when I was on camera. So the coloring that is already done is, and these are all polychromos. So dark cadmium orange 115. And the color I'm going to be using with that is light cadmium red 117. Okay, so I'm going to put those two to the side for right now, and we're going to go ahead and do those yellows. I pulled cream 102 and dark cadmium yellow 108. Now, what I'm going to work with first is that light source. So you've seen before I've done these where I actually put painter's tape out and I go along the edge to show where all that light would be. Now, typically, the light would be from this edge going down. So I could, in theory, go this way and color all this in my light orange. Okay? Now, I did not go beyond this line because that is under the table. And then over here, if I'm doing the same thing, I can go here. But the reason I went ahead and did a little bit more is because this hanging on the wall and the chair would go ahead and shade that some. All right? So that's just my rough first go around. Now, I am going to use this cream 102. And no, I'm not going to start with that one. I'm going to start with the darker one first. All right, dark cadmium yellow 108. And I'm going to go right here because your light is the brightest right at the source. I'm going to get light as I come out. Really light touch. Really light. Okay, now I'm not going to go over this with the yellow. I am going to lighten it when I color it. So now I'm coming in with my lighter shade, and I'm just going to come on out. Not going behind the chair because this light is blocked by the chair. Okay? I will try to stand up from time to time to make sure that I'm staying in the picture for you in the camera. Okay, so there's that. Now, I still want that wall to look orange. I didn't do behind here because that's a sheet of paper. It would be blocking it. All right, but would it be blocking all of it? Maybe not. There might be some that, like, if the paper's here, there might be some light that's shining back behind in just a little area, okay? So that's why I did a little bit right here. Now I'm going to come back with my wall color. Okay, let's go ahead and do that wall. We know back here is going to be the wall color. And then I can just go real light touch. Really, really light touch, y'all. because I want to blend into that yellow. I want to still have an orange wall, but I want that light to be shining. So, okay, I am going way back on my pencil. I'm not up here creeping, I'm moving back. Why? So that I don't push so hard on my pencil. I am heavy-handed, and therefore I know I've got to go back on that pencil some. Very light touch. See how it blended from that orange to my yellows? But I'm going to keep going into my yellows because I do want that wall color in here. Now I'm going to creep up this time on my pencil. I'm still going very light, but I want to be able to go through these places without making a mess. Okay, back out on my pencil. Let's come down in here. Like I said, just a light touch, barely touching that paper. Barely touching it. So if my hand is the paper, look right here. I'm not doing this. I'm not pushing in like this. I am just barely grazing the top of that paper. Okay? Barely grazing it. I might have to go over it 4, 5, 6 times before I actually hit the paper because I'm so light I didn't even hit the paper. Okay, now I'm going to do that for now. Then I'm going to come around and I'm going to color all the rest of this. Now, there's no light shining up here unless it's reflecting off of something, which could be. So anyway, all of this up here would be a little bit darker. Okay, then I can put my orange wall in. These are like little terrarium jars, so that's why I am putting a wall color in. Plus, if you leave them all white, they're just not going to have the same beauty of color when they're finished as they could if you go ahead and do them in different colors. All right, so do all that, get all that in there. And this may actually take 2 sessions to do this. We're trying it in one, we will see. Even these little snippet pictures can take some time to do. So get all this done. Now usually I do in my V's a little darker, but remember that's the wall that's set a ways back. So I'm not going to worry about all the little V's this time in that. I'm going to get this done. I need to stand up and see if I'm still in the camera. I'm actually working ahead right now. Today is Monday, and this video is for Saturday. So, yeah, at the making of this video, y'all have not seen Evie's video yet. So I'm anxious for you to see it so I can read if there's any comments. Now, I pulled out my second color, and I'm just coming down. But see how it makes that look like it's a little bit more shaded. Take your time. I do color pretty fast sometimes, and that is generally when I'm doing a video. I don't always color this fast when it's just me coloring, but I want to be able to get enough in the video for y'all. Okay, then as I come down, into this area. I'm going to do a little bit darker there just to emphasize the chair. And then go into my yellow again. Then down here, this is under the table. So I'm going to act like that table is up against the wall, which means everything under the table is going to be darker. Okay, so I'm going to go through first with my orange, and you would do this all the way, okay, on both sides. And then this back here would be darker because it's behind the chair. And then this right here would come around and then get darker. Little bit right there, and then it gets dark because of the desk. And I do have some lines right there, but if I keep going in my circles, I'll be able to get rid of those. And yes, this is going to take 2 sessions. I just looked at my phone over here with the clock on it. So definitely come back next time when we do some more on this. But I just don't want to leave you before we get through the lesson of where your lights and darks would be, because I'm actually going to show you on several of the little items on the page and explain as I go why the colors are the way they are. Then as I come out, I'm going to get lighter. Here's darker. As I come out, get lighter. And then finish all that, okay? And then with our other color that we did up in here, that was a little darker, did I just do those wrong? No, that looks right. You know, those may be too close together to make a whole lot of difference. So make sure that your second color is dark enough that it makes a difference. And now it is. I'm going over this again. And then I'll start my little circles so I can blend that and fade it. So I'll work on that later. But then down here, this is where I'm really gripping that pencil and bearing down and getting this darker because it's under the table. I wouldn't go black, okay? Don't go overboard on it. You don't want to even go brown. And then see, as I'm getting here, I'm getting lighter and lighter. But that is under the table, so it would be your darkest area on the wall. You can go into your bathroom and look at the color above the toilet and look at the color of the wall below the toilet, behind it. Depending on your lighting, that area behind should be darker than what is above. Okay? Now you can see this side here is basically finished. Now, what else though? There are a few little things. I shouldn't say finished. Behind the typewriter down here at the base, get lighter as I come out. Right here where the paper is, get lighter as I come out. Behind this potted plant, in front of the lamp base, get lighter as I come out. Okay, so there are little places that you need to look, little nooks and crannies, little places where it would be darker. What about up in here? That really might be a little darker. Yeah, I know, we're talking the wall, not the objects, but doesn't it look a little bit more realistic if we put that. There could be, this could be a shadow that's actually on the wall. All right. And then we did this, and then I would probably do all this dark also. Okay, what color can we go to next? I want to actually go ahead and go in with my chair next. I did grab several different pencils. I like the chair being blue cushioned. So now this is a darker shade. This is Cobalt Turquoise 153, but I'm going to use it very lightly. Blue and orange are across from each other on the color wheel. Remember that color wheel Evie showed you? So we know that the blue and orange will go good together. Automatically know that. There we go. Another color that we know we can use in this room would be purple, because purple and yellow are across from each other. Now, I'm going to go a little deeper here and a little deeper here. And then right here, just along the back edge. Now, one thing you can do, you do want this darker because it's under the desk, right? But I want it to look a little bit more worn right in the middle. So I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to do just the middle of that cushion. Just to where it looks worn. And where they lean on it. And where their head rests. If you accidentally get into some of your yellow or your orange, go back and put it in. Not a big deal. Okay, so there's that color. Let's look at the purples. I'm going to do this in the purples. So I'm going to come in. This is light red violet 135. And I'm using that right here. Now, once I get to here, do you see what I did with my pencil real quick? I said, okay, there's the light. So once I get here, it's going to start getting darker. So right up here, it's going to be a little bit darker. Got it? Now, because I want that a little bit darker, I'm going to move over to number 136, Purple Violet. Now, this is a total different color, right? So then what I'm going to do is go back over it with the color I used here. And that will turn it. Don't be afraid to layer your colors to make new colors. Okay, so now we've got the light coming through here. And I can blend that out just a little bit better. Okay, so everything in this area is going to be just a little bit lighter. All right, let's look at something else in purple. So I'm going to use this purple again, the 136 Purple Violet. And then I've also pulled 137 Blue Violet. And I'm going to go over, and I think I'm going to do the rug. Now, this is a box sitting down there, so go around that. I have no news on the in-laws. We're going tomorrow, Tuesday. There wasn't a huge grocery list either. They're pretty well stocked up. So we already just bought some boosts to take to them, and a big pack of Cokes. Robert loves his Cokes. And then the lady that comes in for Granny is for Granny, not Robert. So when we get there, I'll have to do all the cleanup after him for last week, leaving all of his bottles and cans around and all that. But that's okay. I'm getting kind of used to it. And then I'll update all of her meds, make sure her pill containers are all full. Okay, so there's that. Then I'm going to come in with that darker shade, and I'm going to come more over here. Because if there's any lighter areas, it's going to be what bounces off the wall and hits. Okay, so that light's coming here. If anything crept in, it would be lighter here and darker over here. I try to explain a lot because I'm one of those people that learns by doing and by seeing and by being told the whys. Why? Why is that like that? So that's how I try to teach. And if you don't get it one way, I'll explain it 2 or 3 different ways sometimes. I did in my real early videos. Now see, so it's darker over here, lighter over here. And I may even do this a little bit darker too in the long run. But I can go back and do that at the very end. So I'm seeing we still have like 5 or 6 minutes we can play. Let's do this typewriter. Now, I'm not going to do it black. I am going to do it as a gray typewriter because the light is shining on it right here, right? So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to come in, and I'm probably going to use a gel pen right there on that white paper and across this part for the lamp. Oh, that was, good question. Sorry about that. That was number 231, and it was cold gray 2. Why did I use cold gray instead of warm gray? Because it's what I grabbed. But if you have that question and you want to know how to know which grays to use on projects, I did do a video in the past that explains the cold gray, the warm gray, and the French gray, and how you can know which ones to use, what the differences are. So just pull my name up, Pam Proctor, and then pull up different grays or whatever. I don't know what it's under, but it is on my YouTube, and it is, I believe, this year. Now in that very corner there, I will use black. I'll bring black in here when we do the next video, okay? So that's got that. And then let's go ahead and just do those keys. Just a little bit of dark gray on them, just so everything's not too light. And then here, I'm going to use the dark gray and then probably the black on the back part. Not a big deal. Alrighty, let's look at, let's go ahead and do some of the mechanics on this chair. Let's use our first gray, the lightest one. Now this is all underneath, so it would be in the shadows. And we're going to put the same base on the table, just because we're going to pretend that it was a set that was bought together. Now I do have some orange in there, so I'm going to try to lift some of that orange out before I put the gray in. There we go. Okay, so this is that first gray that we used. Now I'm not going to do the tabletop as metal. I'm probably going to do it as a wood. I don't know. I'll see. But I don't want that tabletop to blend into the color of the typewriter. So this is our second gray that I had. Over here is darker. So I'm going to put this corner a little darker. And then this side here, I'll go ahead and do there. And then this side of the chair. Okay? And then I see that spot right there. That should actually be our darker shade that we used for the wall. Right there. And you'll see me come back in from time to time with that wall color and clean things up. Okay, so I'm going to work on this a little bit while we're waiting on the time to run out. So next time when we come back, I'm going to bring in some greens, show you how to do the plant in the different shades. See, I'm going to still come in with this red, but I'm getting lighter as I come over. Let me get a little bit lighter as I come down here. Is my voice softer when I say lighter? I feel like my voice has been all over the place. I'm sorry. So do that. And then I am going to change back over to that orange that we started with. And do that. Whoops, there goes my timer. Okay, so just going to finish up here, getting some of this in. Like I said, next time we come back, we're going to work on the potted plant. We're going to work on the boxes at the bottom probably, the table, the chair. So I've got to go pull some more pencils and then I'll work on that. Oh, and I'm getting a light in the mail today. I think I'm going to do just a little impromptu video to show you it. Not count it as one of our daily videos. I'll probably just go ahead and pop it on today. Later today. So by the time this airs, you'll have already seen it. So if you missed it, go back on and see the video that shows the light that I got. You can get it at jerrysartorama.com, and it's a travel light, and I think it's going to be awesome for when we're coloring. Okay, so just blending this in just a little bit more. Let's see, get those colors in there. We do want that wall to still be orange, not yellow. That's why I said, you know, we'll come back and touch things up as we go. Okay, just have to blend this out a little bit. Just blend those colors so I don't have scribble marks showing. And you are up close and personal to it right now, so you're going to see everything that could be wrong with it. When you're actually looking at the page, it's more like that. But you can see how our lighter shades are right in here. Okay, so I need to go a little darker up here yet, and a little darker over here. But I don't like going over 30 minutes, so I'm going to call it a session. And I'm going to deepen these up just a little, and then I'll be back in a few days to finish it off. All right? Okay, thanks for showing up. Bye-bye.